A salesman can spot an easy retirement target from across the parking lot. Comfortable-looking man, relaxed pace, no rush to leave. Surely he's ready to be sold something. What that salesman doesn't know is that the wisest senior men have already built an invisible list in their heads, a list of purchases they simply don't make anymore, no matter how good the pitch sounds. Today we're going to walk through 9 of those purchases, not because senior men are cheap, but because they've learned, often the hard way, exactly which purchases quietly steal peace instead of buying it. Epictetus taught something that applies directly to every purchase we're about to cover. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. He wasn't arguing for deprivation. He was pointing at something sharper, that every want a man allows himself to develop becomes a small obligation, a future expense, a quiet claim on money that could have gone somewhere better. The wise senior man doesn't avoid these 9 purchases because he can't afford them. He avoids them because he's learned to stop wanting things that were never going to make his life any better in the first place. So here are the 9, counting down from 9 to 1, ending with the purchase almost every wise senior man agrees is the costliest of them all. Purchase 9 is the extended warranty on something that's already reliable. Salesmen love this one because it plays directly on fear, not need. A wise senior man has learned that most extended warranties cost more, over time, than the repairs they're supposed to protect against. He'd rather set that money aside himself and self-insure than pay someone else a premium for peace of mind he can build on his own. Purchase 8 is the timeshare. Nothing sounds better at a resort presentation with a free breakfast attached than guaranteed vacations for life. Nothing turns out to be a bigger financial headache once the annual maintenance fees start climbing and the property becomes nearly impossible to sell. Wise senior men have heard enough stories from friends stuck in these contracts to know exactly what free breakfast actually costs. Purchase 7 is the newest phone or gadget the moment it releases, not because technology doesn't matter, because the model he already owns still works perfectly well, and the marginal improvement rarely justifies the price tag or the hassle of switching everything over. He waits, lets the price drop, and lets someone else be the early adopter. Purchase 6 is the luxury car upgrade purely for appearances. A car that gets him where he needs to go, reliably, holds far more value to him than one that signals status to people he'll never see again after the light turns green. He's learned that the car depreciates the moment it leaves the lot, but the payment doesn't. Purchase 5 is anything sold through high-pressure, limited-time urgency. Today only. Only 3 left. This offer expires when you walk out that door. A wise senior man has learned that genuine value rarely needs to be rushed, and any deal that only works if he decides in the next 5 minutes is a deal designed to bypass his judgment, not earn it. Purchase 4 is a second home he'll use twice a year. The dream sounds wonderful. The lake house, the mountain cabin. The reality, for many, is a second set of property taxes, maintenance headaches, and a guilt-driven obligation to use it enough to justify the cost. Wise senior men increasingly rent when they want the experience and skip the ownership entirely. Purchase 3 is an investment he doesn't understand, no matter how confidently a friend, relative, or advisor explains it. If he can't explain it back in his own simple words, he doesn't buy it, full stop. He's watched too many friends chase returns into products they couldn't actually describe, only to discover the risks the hard way. Purchase 2 is anything bought specifically to keep up with a neighbor, a sibling, or an old classmate. The moment a purchase is motivated by someone else's driveway, someone else's vacation photos, or someone else's kitchen renovation, he's already lost the plot. He's learned that comparison is one of the most expensive habits a man can develop, and it never actually delivers the satisfaction it promises. And purchase 1, the one nearly every wise senior man names first when asked, is anything bought on credit that he couldn't otherwise afford in cash. Not because credit itself is evil, but because a purchase he can't afford outright is usually a signal that the purchase itself is the problem, not the payment method. If cash won't cover it, the wise senior man has learned to simply let it go. Every one of these avoided purchases points to the same quiet truth. He isn't afraid of spending money. He refuses to let spending control him. There's real research behind why these particular 9 purchases show up so consistently across wise, financially at peace senior men. Behavioral economists studying the endowment effect have found that once we own something, we irrationally overvalue it, which is exactly why timeshares and extended warranties are so hard to walk away from once purchased, and exactly why wise senior men avoid the trap before it ever begins, rather than trying to escape it later. Present bias explains the urgency-driven purchases and the credit-fueled ones. Our brains are wired to overweight immediate reward and underweight future cost.